then, into oil seals. So here's the main clutch side oil seal. Make sure that the metal bit is in towards where the crank is going to be. Put a little bit of 2-stroke oil around the outside. Get it square. And then to knock it in, I'm going to use a slightly oversized punch so that I can only knock it in so it's flush. I can't knock it in too far. And we're going to do the same for the rear hub oil seal. So oil around, and this time the oil will come out that way, so the metal hoop goes to the inner side. Right, first job, get a load of grease inside here. So seal. Seal in. And I'm going to put a load of grease onto the kickstart shaft, and that drops in like a saw. So next job is to get the return spring. So push the kickstart right over, slip the spring in, and then I need to twist it round until that latches into that hole there. And voila! Next I'm going to put the 2 rubbers like that, one there and one there, which basically buffer the kickstart when it's pinging back and forwards. I think we've now got 2 kickstart rubbers in place. Right, time to put the bits and bobs into the left side of the engine. So we're going in with the secondary shaft first. And now's the point where I need to put my bearings all in place. So we've got these little needle bearings which need to go into there, so I've got to pack that with grease, carefully put the bearings in and then push this into place. So there we go, we've got all the bearings in, they all fit nice and snug. I'm going to pack a bit more grease around it, but there's no gaps, so happy with that. Now that's seated properly, jolly good. Haha, so some idiot, we won't say who, but forgot to press record when he's putting the output shaft in. So the output shaft is now in. So as I was putting it in, I was checking all the cogs, and the output shaft is meshing with the secondary shaft. It's all turning. Output shaft, I think, is pulled all the way through and in. So I've just nudged the crankshaft gently into position, and I've now got my homemade puller set up. So we're just going to gently start giving it a go and see if this pulls this in. just quickly pushed the other crankcase into position, and everything seems to fit. I know this needs to be tightened up, but everything seems to fit. So I need to take that back apart again, and then we can think about doing it properly. Right, time to put the two halves together. So everything seems to be smooth okay on there. This is the right hand side, so what I'm going to do, because this has got a mounting pin, I'm going to put the gasket on this side, but I've got the kickstart engaging cog on this side, because I've seen it done both ways, but I think that's going to make the assembly a little bit easier. So we'll get this gasket on. Right, I think we've got two crankcases together. Inevitably it was a much trickier job than I thought it was going to be, but we've now got almost all the seals in place, and we've got a crank that's now working. When I first put it together, it got really stiff, and I actually ended up just pulling it a little bit more through on the clutch side, and now it's running well. So that all seems to be working. We have a crank that works. It's just how well sealed it is, but the mating surfaces are so beaten up that I've had to use a sealant as well as a gasket, and we're just going to have to see and keep our fingers crossed.